Today I want to talk a little bit about being raised in a large family. I'm one of 11 children. I'm number 5. And my parents were married for 74 years. Very successful in raising children, a family business, giving back. My father was raised on discipline, so we were raised on discipline. My mother was raised on the 10 Commandments. The difference was my mother was a person that loved everyone unconditionally. My father, more or less, you had to earn it on merit. As a family business, the people always came first. The family paid on performance, never entitled. And all of us were in the business, all 11 at one time or another. And as you know, I was number 5, so I came in after my brothers, a few of my brothers and my sister. I wanted the business. I always wanted to be a businessman. I couldn't make it in sports. I wasn't the athlete, a 5-star athlete, but I had a 5-star teammate attitude, and I loved to win. So I could never win with the family because no matter what you did, you lost. With your father, with your brothers. And believe me, life was a game at our family. The sisters, you couldn't touch the sisters. And my sisters were great. They just stayed out of the boy-male dynamic. So, what am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about picking the right horse. My father picked the right horse in many ways. He picked the right wife. He picked the right career. He respected people. Talk about honor your mother and your father. He was it. I really idolized my father when I was younger, before I started working with him side by side. I think I was afraid of him. I was afraid of my father. I wasn't afraid of my brothers. I probably idolized my older brothers. They were bigger, better, faster. They played hockey. They played baseball. I looked at them as, you know what? I'm the younger brother, but I'm going to kick ass. And I'm going to show you I'm a winner. Well, as we aged, the games changed. And the business changed. The business got bigger. And my responsibilities got bigger. Because I was my father's right-hand man. So responsibilities and accountability and workaholism came in. And my father was more of an operations innovator, where I was more of a sales marketing guy. It was a different generation. And things were changing, and we worked, 90% of our sales were 3M company in St. Paul, Minnesota. We dealt with engineers, new product development, innovation, and we went global. So I started traveling around the world, especially Western Europe, Italy, England, France, Denmark, Norway. Then later on in life, I started going to the Eastern Bloc. I was asked to go to China. I was asked to go to India. Been to Japan. Clients were from Japan. I was exposed to a lot of great situations because it was new products. I was raised in the 70s and the 80s, and then I went to Harvard in the late 80s. So I really got exposed to global finance, global situations. And I was in manufacturing, so I learned a lot about profit and loss, pricing, margins. One thing I didn't tell you was I was married. I was married at 22. Most of our family were married because we were basically told that you got to be out of the house by 18. So college wasn't even, education wasn't brought up to our family. But my father mentioned to me in 1973, when the Vietnam draft was discontinued, he says, Rock, and I was thinking about going to the service because I didn't think I had the grades or the smarts. And then one day he's reading the Wall Street Journal, and I was looking at deciding what I was going to do after graduation. With a couple other guys, we were going to join the Air Force. Thought since the war was over, Air Force is the easiest place to go. Let's go into the Air Force because we had no money, nothing else to do. What are we going to do with our lives? And so two of my buddies and I started thinking about joining the Air Force. My dad's in the living room reading the Wall Street Journal, and he says to me, I was alone sitting in the chair next to him, and I was probably going through these brochures. Probably noticed me looking at the brochures. And he goes, Rock, ever thought about going to college? Dad, I don't have any money to go to college. That was the first thing I said. He says, well, don't worry about that. What did I do the very next day? Boom, opportunity. My father was so used to telling us no that when I heard a go, a G-O, I better investigate. So I went to the library the next day or the next week, and there happened to be a college here called St. Mary's College in Winona, Minnesota. The recruiter was there, and I basically told him my situation, had my ACTs, and my grades weren't that good, but small school, 160 students, and I was maybe 120. I was good at sports and good at chasing girls, and I probably drank a little bit too much junior and senior year. And so I said, okay, I'll check into this. So what happens? I go to St. Mary's, check things out. They accept me. I couldn't believe they accepted me. What they accepted was probably the price tag. And I was on academic probation, and my goals were a 3.0. So when I knew my goals had to be a 3.0, what did I get? Beyond a 3.0. I'll continue the story, but I want to let you know that I wrote a book called They Named You Right by Rock LaManna. I put my story in the book, in a memoir. And what motivated me was on the passing of my mother at age 94. I wanted the stories told because of 11 children and the generations of Italian Polish that we are. We had to get this on paper. And so I wrote the book. Living with a big family and a family business, it's not easy. It's not easy. And I've been in my career for 50 years now. The first 25 in manufacturing, my own businesses. The last 25 as a consultant for the industry. And I know deals, and I know people. And this discussion here is really about the people you can trust and picking the right horse. And as I mentioned, my father picked the right horse in his career and his spouse, his faith. Very loyal, very dedicated, very committed. But we all paid the price. I'll share those stories down the road. You know, I care about people. I want you to be happy. Always bring joy. I'll be talking to you soon. God bless.